Hi, I'm Mary Turner, and I'll be talking with Geddy Lee of Rush, Rob Halford of Judas Priest, and Mike and Allie Score of A Flock of Seagulls. All this week, off the record. Judas Priest vocalist Rob Halford loves performing, but says that wasn't always the case. In the beginning, he experienced frequent mental and physical tortures before stepping out on stage. These days, with years of experience behind him, he's conquered those fears and credits the audience for their help.
The fact that they've made all that effort to come and see the band is the biggest compliment that they could make to me. Makes me feel relaxed and makes me feel great inside, you know, because I don't feel, all I feel when I get on that stage is I have to give as best as I can, and I know I have to come up to certain standards which people expect, and I know in general terms that I'm able to do that, you know. So on a night now, on any night, that things, that the whole nervous energy and it's there, yes, it's there. Of course, again, I'd be a fool to deny it, but there is still that rush. The moment the lights go down and the crowd starts to roar, that's it, you know. But then from that point on, it's let's do it.
Rob Halford of Judas Priest. I'm Mary Turner, off the record. Rock and roll is breaking down political barriers all over the world. Hi, I'm Mary Turner, and in just a moment, Rob Halford of Judas Priest talks about heavy metal's place on the global scale, off the record. Judas Priest has gained a worldwide following over the past few years, performing for audiences in Japan and South America. Rob Halford says that music, in general, is helping to break down barriers that exist between nations, and he thinks heavy metal has had a hand in doing that as well.
Looking at it now and seeing all the places that are opening up for bands and single artists that wouldn't have dreamed of allowing them into the country five years ago is, I think, is directive to that thing in the future where music is going to be so very, very, very important. I don't know whether it will be this type of music. I think it will be. I don't know about time. I don't know if it's got any specific length to it. That there's going to be some position in the future when it's not going to mean that much or do that much to people. I'd like to think that it did, but equally, when you see the troubles of the world today, there's also that possibility that there will be that sort of an anarchic element creeping back in. But I don't think that people such as record companies are going to accept that.
Rob Halford of Judas Priest. I'm Mary Turner, off the record.
We're doing stuff now which, for the most part, would sound a little bit strange to some of the earlier material, you know.
Hi, I'm Mary Turner, and in just a moment, Rob Halford explains Judas Priest's subtle shift in direction and how less can be more, off the record. Musically, the sound of Judas Priest has changed from the early days of the band, and Rob Halford doesn't see that as a betrayal of their heavy metal roots, more like a shift, incorporating what they've learned over the years and applying it to the music. It's still heavy metal.
As you go along, you become more sophisticated and more objective and appreciate that sometimes less is more, right? That you haven't got to go like completely fanatical and jam in as many notes or as many words as you can in 3 minutes. That just by using certain things, certain words or phrases or certain notes, they create the emotive quality and what you're trying to put within a song. So we went through that stage, and we were in a different, not a different thing, but I think it should always be an onward going operation. Repetition is the last thing that I could ever stand, or for that matter any of the rest of the guys in Priest could stand. We have to be always moving on, you know, and if that means sounding a little different to what we did 4 or 5 years ago, well, that's okay by us, because that's what we want to be. We don't want to keep giving people the same old product. And I don't think, if our fans were to be truthful and honest, that that's what they want either.
Rob Halford of Judas Priest. I'm Mary Turner, off the record.
Everybody's got an alter ego, that thing inside of us which is different to the way we are in other times.
Hi, I'm Mary Turner, and in just a moment, Rob Halford of Judas Priest talks about how his alter ego is expressed. Off the record. On stage, singer Rob Halford epitomizes the Judas Priest image. He attacks each performance with a frenzy of energy and spirit. This onstage persona is quite different from his offstage, soft-spoken demeanor. Rob agrees, but he's quick to add that his stage persona is not calculated. It's a natural extension of who he is and who he wants to be.
What I go through on stage is very, very real and very genuine to me. I'm not performing out there, I'm not acting. That is me. But that's just the other side of me. But because of what I'm going through on that stage is so what I want to be, that it does sometimes come out as an extreme, you know, and I get up to bizarre antics as much as everybody else. But I know that the way people see me in papers, dressed the way I am, and doing the things I do on stage, that it does create a sort of mental image of what's he like when he's not doing that. But I think that's the way it should be. I think that's part and parcel of the whole business of even art in general, you know. And I don't want that to change. So I'm not going to deny or refute or say that what I do on stage isn't real, because I tell you something, it's sometimes more real than what I am now.
Rob Halford of Judas Priest. I'm Mary Turner. Off the record.
A joint Damn You Maggot, Ask Rip Yoss Clowns production in association with Stuck in the Vinyl Again Records, an exclusive imprint of Sarcastic Cheeseburger Pictures.